Alright, so this is my first video on the channel, and I thought I would show off my daily driver. This is my 2019 Honda Civic DX.
All my life I've been with intellect, but the flow is like incest with degenerates. Fucking stupid if I ain't of interest as I interject. I moonwalk in my boots, footsteps when I'm on set. Smooth predator boarding the mothership for conquest, cause I'm next. I'm sorry if I'm too witty, ain't a screw loose, so try to fix something to do with me as I cruise the beat.
I originally bought this car with about 54,000 kilometers on it from a dealership about 2.5 years ago. This car's been great, it's given me zero issues, and I've been beating on it ever since I bought it. Now we have some work to do to it in this video. I got some transmission fluid yesterday. I would like to swap it out as I don't think it's ever been done since I bought the car. And I also want to inspect the brakes and do a few other odds and ends. I don't know if you guys could tell, but this is my first time making a video like this, especially with my new camera, which is a Lumix G7, and this whole tripod setup. So hopefully this video doesn't turn out too bad, but I guess we'll see. I will show you guys around some of the mods I've done to this car so far. Now the first mod you guys probably noticed was these wheels. They are 18 by 9.5 plus 30. They are Autohahn AH02s, and they are wrapped in a 225/40/18 tire. Now this is the perfect combination for a daily driver setup, as I did not have to modify the fenders at all, and going over bumps and stuff, there was no scraping, no rubbing, so I couldn't be happier about that. And if you're curious what kind of tires I'm running, I'm just running Chinese tires. These are actually called Windas, and honestly, for the summertime, they're perfect. Now naturally, this car gains -2 degrees of camber on the rear just from the lowering springs alone, and as you can see, the lip of the wheel kind of matches nicely with the quarter panel lip, and I do like that look. Now on the front, it's a little harder to camber as the suspension is different compared to the rear. However, I did add Surimoto adjustable ball joints to the lower control arms there, and I also pulled the strut pins in the engine bay, slid the strut towards the engine, and installed lockers, which also gave me some more camber. So the front is running about 1.5 degrees, which is not ideal because I do want to get that 2 to match the rear. But the only way I can get that 2 is to get adjustable coilovers with adjustable top hats, and that is a next year type thing, as these springs are still serving me great. Now also on the rear, I'm sure you can spot a few things done here. So this wing I got from Amazon, just a little simple duckbill. I didn't want to go too overboard as it is a Civic. I also have a custom exhaust and diffuser. This diffuser I got off of Amazon, and the tips I also got off of Amazon. Now for what's actually done to the exhaust, basically the stock exhaust consists of a cat, a resonator in the middle of the car, and a muffler right at the rear, right on the right side. That's where the stock exhaust used to exit. And basically what you do is you cut that resonator out in the middle of the car, install a Flowmaster DBX muffler, which is meant just for 4 cylinders, and then obviously split it to a dual exit at the rear. The car has a great tone in my opinion. It's not too loud, not too raspy, because if you know anything about Hondas, especially Civics, a lot of people put raspy exhausts on them, and I do not like that. Now the last couple mods I have done are these aftermarket headlights. They kind of mimic the OEM type touring or SI headlights with like the chandelier effect. But the only difference is these guys have a nice sequential turn signal to them. As you can see, just for something so minor, I think it's a pretty cool touch. I haven't looked too hard into the aftermarket yet, but I would like to get something similar on the rear. Now another small thing I did was add these side markers. They are blacked out, which again I think matches the car a lot nicer. The OEM ones are orange, so they stuck out against the black and they had to go. So you guys let me know what you think about my daily driver. It's been a great car all around. I have zero complaints, but enough yapping about that. Let's get some work done on this thing. Okay, so it is now day 2. It's time to clean out this garage, get my project Miata out of it, and get the Civic on the quick jacks. I've made this a pain in the ass every single time I want to work on something because I have my project card in here. So now I have to remove every single thing that's on here, including other things that were put on here since this car's been sitting, and then pull this car out and pull my Civic in. So I guess it's the perfect time to talk about my project car. It is a 1990 Mazda Miata, and basically it is undergoing a ton of body work right now, getting new quarter panels welded on, as you can probably see in the corner over there. So it's just a piece by piece project, but it will be done one day, I hope. Up we go. Let it drop. And perfect.
Learned it all on my own. Everything self-taught. Headshot with the stainless. Blow their mind that they brainless. Dreams of being on stages. Damn, the shit's out.
Alright, so now it's actually time to start working on this damn thing. I haven't researched where the fill plug or the drain plug is on this thing yet, so hopefully they're not in a shitty spot. So, with my bent screwdriver, I think it's time to take off this bottom skid plate to drain the fluid. This thing was already missing half of its screws, so I'm sure this is probably, yep, that's all it was. And off comes the skid plate. Now, since I popped off the bottom cover here, I do think I see the drain bolt right here on the bottom of the transaxle. However, I still do have to look for a fill bolt somewhere. Okay, so according to this guy on YouTube, he does have the SI, but I believe the 6 speeds are the same in the base models and the SIs. And he shows a drain plug on the top of the transmission, and he actually does remove the airbox, but hopefully I don't have to do that shit, because I don't feel like it.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so it looks like this airbox is going to have to come off, which shouldn't be a big deal, but I did just want to avoid that if I could. It appears just to be a bunch of 10 millimeters, so this should be pretty easy. I'm also going to remove this front shroud, just to give me more room. Perfect. So it looks like it was just a little grommet holding on right here in this hole, and that's what was confusing me, but she's out. And I got all the bolts for it, so that wasn't too difficult. So now you can see the fill plug. We have lots of access to put a funnel down here now that we took the airbox off. So I'm going to remove this fill plug first to make sure it comes out, and then we will start draining the fluid. Okay, so a normal, I believe this is a 3/8 extension, fits pretty snugly in the fill plug. So let me break it loose. Hopefully it's not too tight. Oh. So we can go ahead and head to the bottom and start draining the fluid. So unfortunately at this point in the video, my mic decided it wanted to disconnect, so I'll quickly just summarize what I ended up doing. I started by draining the transmission fluid. The fluid that ended up coming out almost looked like it was brand new, and judging by the factory torque line drawn on the fill plug, I can assume it was the OEM fluid from the day the car was made. I then ended up reinstalling the drain plug, and by the time I got to putting on the skid plate, my mic luckily reconnected. Perfect. I'm just going to clean out this funnel. We don't want any junk getting into the transmission. Hit it with some brake clean real quick. Okay, so according to my research, it takes this Honda manual transmission fluid, and it takes just about 1.8 to 2 liters. So I think I'm going to pour all 2 bottles in and then go from there. Now, it wouldn't be me unless I spilt some, so now if we do have a leak, it's going to be very hard to detect because I spilt trans fluid all over the trans and undershield, so that's just great. This stuff is literally like water. It's almost clear. It has a small like tint to it, but it looks just like water and it flows like it too. Okay, so it's nice and full. Let's reinstall the fill plug. All right, and that's nice and tight. Now, however, before we put the airbox in, if you do take a look in it, it is pretty filthy, so I'm just going to give it a quick brake clean wash before we throw it back in. So it's nowhere near perfect, but it's clean enough, so let's throw it on. All right, so we'll just slide it right in there, line up the bottom holes, give it a push right into place, just like that. Perfect. Plug in our mass airflow sensor. There we go. One airbox clip, and then the second airbox clip, which happened to fall off, but it was easy to put back on. There we go. The transmission fluid's now fully changed. The last thing I want to do today, I want to rotate these tires around, as I'm going to be getting an alignment soon, and I just want to make sure they wear evenly. And also I need to do a brake inspection, as I do have some noise. I don't know if it's the squealers touching the rotors yet, but I just want to know how long I have until I need to change my brakes, and maybe that'll be a future video, you never know. So this outer pad looks like it still has a decent amount of life left on it. Let me have a look at the inner one here. It's a little trickier to see. The inner pad looks like it has a little bit less, but honestly, it's nowhere near metal on metal, so I think this is good. I will check back on this in the next couple months. But of course, we got to check the other front wheel and the two rears. Okay, so looking at this outer pad, it looks like there's still a bit of meat left on it. And the inside pad, now I can't lie, it's a little hard to see, but it looks like there's about the same amount on the inside pad as there is on the outer pad. So I'm going to say these are pretty good as well for now. I think I'm going to be ready for a brake job in about maybe 3 to 4 months of daily driving. So stay tuned for that video. Hopefully it is not the middle of winter by the time it's time to do the brakes. Alright, so I think it's time we drop the car down, take it for a little spin, and see if that transmission fluid has made any difference in the gear shift feel. So I'm here just finishing up and editing this video, and basically the reason why this cut off from the last clip is because my car got stuck on the quick jack hoist that I have. It sprung a leak, so I had to spend hours trying to get the car down because I needed it the next day. But after I did all the work, it shifted gears perfect. We got no grinds, no clunks, no leaks, no nothing, so worked out perfect. Thanks for watching.